All right, bumper music. Bumper music.
Hot.
Bumper music. Are we ready for the bumper music yet?
You gotta do it cold.
3. Hello and welcome to 8-Bit Dad. We're gonna take it from the top. Bumper music. Notice the camera as if they're a person that just walked in the room and. Oh, hello. What? Oh, you said no, none of that, none of the Wayne's World. 3.
We can see your mouth moving.
Hello, welcome to 8-Bit Dad. My name is Zach Rosenberg.
And I'm Brian Ferguson. 8-Bit Dad is a modern dad's guide to news, reviews, and fatherly opinions. We talk about some of the weekly top stories posted on 8bitdad.com.
That's right, we are the founding fathers of 8-Bit Dad. Brian and I came up with a crazy idea one day to cover that void on the internet for news for fathers. We just didn't see any on the internet. We thought maybe it'd be funny to kind of throw down some of our fatherly opinions out there on the internet. See what happens. So far, I think it's been pretty successful.
So far, after a year of doing nothing with it, but
there's still time though.
There's still time.
We could still run it into the floor, so don't get comfortable.
Exactly. So, anything exciting you want to start off with? We're drinking Oktoberfest beers.
It's October.
This is Sam Adams. It's a seasonal beer that happens every year as you're around your fears kind of happen.
That's that.
That's that.
So I don't know. We got iPhones this week.
You got an iPhone.
I got an iPhone this week. I'm on Sprint.
That's the 4S, right?
It's the 4S. It's the new guy. I'm on Sprint, so I haven't had a chance.
And they just came out with this on Sprint.
Just came out
the day you got it, right?
The day I got it. Stood in line. I actually thought I wasn't gonna make it because I figured I didn't really want to stand in line because I've got a job and a life now.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to the store at 7 a.m. I was 6th in line, and I got the last 2 phones. So clearly, Apple's really standing behind Sprint on this one. So they gave them like 10 phones in the store.
Well, they're like the last poor assholes to get
Yeah.
this.
And I guess I would be the last poor asshole to get an iPhone too, because I didn't jump ship when the iPhones initially came out and everyone left Sprint to go elsewhere. But hey man, unlimited data, unlimited text, 1,600 minutes to share between my wife and I.
Is there a limit on the bandwidth? Is there like a 5 gig limit still?
No.
It's unlimited?
Sprint's a little vague about that. They don't necessarily tell you that. They'll tell you when you've gone too far, but they don't publish an actual limit. So
okay.
I'm excited. I want to see how far I can go.
Go for it.
I'm gonna do it.
You should.
I'll mute the phone and stream music right now.
Okay. That's fine.
Just cause. Anyway, so if you're
it has Siri on it, right?
Yeah, it's got Siri. It's got this great attendant named Siri. I'll see if I can get the volume up as high as possible. I don't know if she'll yell or not. But basically,
have you tried it out yet?
Yeah. You can ask your phone anything, and anything with written reason. I did try to ask Siri what it sounds like when doves cry.
Oh, okay. What did it say?
Didn't respond well. So
that's a shame.
Yeah. But you can if you've got an address in your book, you can
say the person's name.
Yeah, you can say, tell me how to get to so-and-so's house. I don't have anyone's addresses because the guy at the Sprint store nuked all my contacts.
Here we go.
So I've been fuming for the last couple of days. If you work, or if you know anyone that works at the Ventura Sprint store, Ventura, California, on Telephone Road, there's a guy there. I don't know his name. I think it's Robert. I don't know. Bald white guy. He nuked all my contacts. So thanks to that guy for ruining my life. Because the best thing you can do to a freelance writer is nuke his contacts. So thanks again. But if I had any contacts, I could ask Siri to tell me to get to their house. But
you can ask where Robert lives. He'll probably be.
I can. Yeah, I can. One of the cool things that I did at work was I asked where I could get a burrito. Siri will find burritos for you. So, in that case, what you do is you hold down the little button down here, and Siri will come up.
Okay.
I want a burrito.
takes her sweet ass time.
Yeah, she sure does.
Sorry, I am having trouble connecting to the network.
Oh, you're not gonna.
She's evidently having trouble connecting to the network. So I just like to thank Sprint again for showing me that I have 3 bars and having trouble connecting. So let's try that one again. I want a burrito.
Burritos. 400 in vicinity.
Up at work, she actually found me 12 burritos.
12 burritos.
I was pretty excited.
Just laying around.
Oh, there we go.
Checking your current location.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found a number of restaurants whose reviews mention burritos. 21 of them are fairly close to you.
Oh. You got 21 places that have burritos in the area.
Yeah, and then you can scroll through the
That's
the
cool.
list here, and they basically I've been referring to Siri as a she, not as an it, which means that the computers have one. But it'll look through the reviews, and I think it says Yelp might be where they're getting it from. Yeah, reviews from Yelp. So looks through the reviews on Yelp to find the mention of burritos, and
this is pretty cool for parents that are in their cars that want to find something and not have to like figure it out while they're driving, and they have kids in the car. This is a great tool to.
Well, and if you're specifically a patron of a certain restaurant or a store, like let's say you only go to Whole Foods,
right?
Or you only go to McDonald's, or some I couldn't come up with like a health conscious fast food place. Popeyes, Popeyes chicken. Then
there's a Popeyes that took over a Wendy's right by our old place, man.
So if you're into that sort of thing, you can actually ask, find me the closest Whole Foods or find me the closest Popeyes, Louisiana Fast, and anyway, it's kind of a cool function. I
don't care for Popeyes, but
we'll see how often I use it. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Hard to say. But it's a cool function for anyone that needs to find something in a pinch. If you've got to drive, your kid's friends home from soccer practice or baseball practice, and you decide to throw an audible and take them out to dinner.
Yeah. And
you want to find a good place for them and not just bring them to a McDonald's or a Burger King.
Or if you're coming home and you're like, I forgot to get diapers, and you can go like, diapers. And there's tons of stores that
you can check the cheapest gas.
Yeah.
Okay. You can ask weather questions. You can say, do I need a raincoat next week? And provided you're not talking about a condom, she'll probably find it for you.
She'll probably find condoms too.
She'll probably find condoms. Closest condom. There's a joke on the internet somewhere where someone asked kind of ridiculous questions and things like, where can I find a head shop, stuff like that. Where can I find a smoke shop in so and so area? That's nice. But anyway,
so we were on that parents.com best blog awards.
Yeah, how did we do that? That ended on the 15th, right?
That ended on the 15th, which was yesterday.
We went out with a whimper, not a bang, didn't we?
We did not go out with a bang. We were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We were number 7.
Which at one point we were first for like a day. We were third for like a couple weeks.
And then all these motherfuckers kept popping up, like 243 votes. Really?
Yeah. Someone hacked the matrix on that one. I think there's no way that we. There's just no. We're crying foul.
Yeah, we're throwing the yellow flag on this.
I'm going to say do a recount.
It's a football reference.
I'm going to say recount. Parents.com, if you're listening, do a recount.
Recount. One recount.
Check into all these votes that these websites supposedly got. And if possible, overlook the one fake account that I made to give us an extra vote.
Look over the 4 that I made.
Because, it's just, you can count them on one hand.
It's whatever,
These guys, 227. We cheated and got into 7th place. So, clearly our cheating isn't even,
It's not even that good.
It's not even worth it. It's not even worth the cheat, so.
Whatever.
So, thanks, but no thanks. But thank you to all the people that did vote for us. We got a good handful of votes. I remember when we really steamed ahead, probably too early on it.
Too early.
We did get a good amount of votes. We got a good amount of people that were more than happy to jump through the parents.com hoops that they put up to get you to vote. There were a bunch of problems with your cache on your computer and whether it registered you as being there or not. There's a weird login scheme. But anyway, thank you to all the people that did vote.
Yeah, you got us in the 7th place.
You got us in the 7th, and that's...
We're not sure what that means yet, but...
Single digits.
Yeah, that's single digits.
Out of all the fatherhood websites that were on the list, actually, there was like 4 or 5 pages. So... 7th is not. I'm happy.
It's not too shabby.
I'm 7th place happy with it.
Yeah.
Not too happy.
Not
happy
6th
enough.
place happy, but
Yeah.
7th.
Not top 3. Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Like when you're on your little league team and they don't give you a trophy, they give you like the medallion. And when they're pinning it on you, it like pokes your skin. Like that's how happy we are. Like we just got poked in the skin, getting a medal, while your best friend got like the Sluggers Award.
Yeah. Thanks.
So thanks, everyone.
Anyways, we got a question. We had a question this week. For more people responded this time because I think we gave them more heads up.
More heads up, and it was probably more interesting to.
It was more interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
The question was, what age do you show your kids the Star Wars movies? And
we didn't even dice it up and say like the 4, 5, and 6. We didn't start at A New Hope. We said
we said all of them.
We said all of them, just so we wouldn't weed out the people that started with Phantom Menace.
Right.
Even though we wouldn't necessarily count that as. Well, I don't know. Would you?
No.
That's not really Star Wars to me.
That's just.
I have like the VHS, the Fox Home Video VHS ones.
Yeah.
Han Solo shooting first.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the...
that's my Star Wars.
That's...
Son, that's my Star Wars.
We had a few people respond. Actually, one of my friends from high school that I played soccer with, this guy, where is his comment? Did he fucking delete it?
That's good.
No, okay, Martin, there we go. He says that he showed his daughter Star Wars at age 5, and her name is Leia.
Oh, that was your friend?
Yeah, and
yeah, I read that one.
Him and his wife, or her, him and the
those
kid's
people.
mother. Yeah, those people. They both, they named her, and he went along with it with no argument and made sure that she understood the importance of that name. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Bruce says he recommends it that they watch it in the womb, and at least the music.
And actually the whole music angle, like giving kids music in the womb it's a pretty universally like looked at thing as like a good thing to do for pregnant chicks and the babies is give them a little classical music on the belly and. Well,
I don't know. I mean, we didn't do a whole lot of that, but
yeah, we didn't either.
My daughter is just so into music. I don't know where she gets it from. Hopefully me.
It wasn't like you were in a band or anything.
No. Whatever.
I actually had someone answer on Twitter.
Yeah.
This guy that I talked to in a dad's group on Twitter, his name is Piggyback Rider, and it's not just his name. Before you assume anything,
jump to conclusion.
Yeah, he actually has a product. If I'm not mistaken, the Piggyback Rider is this little. It's like a backpack that you can you put your kid in, and instead of them like piggyback riding you, they ride in this piggyback rider on your back.
Like Yoda?
Yeah.
Like a Yoda backpack?
Well, yeah. It's like those hiking backpacks that have like the metal frame on them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
So
the
there's
kid's
a seat.
Yeah, like a standing seat. The kid stands on it basically and stands on your back, and then he can kind of hold your shoulders, but he's standing on the actual
and not sitting. Oh, okay.
Or maybe he is sitting. I kind of haven't. I think he's standing, but he's secured like he is sitting. People seem to love this thing. There's like celebrity videos on their website, and it looks pretty cool.
Awesome.
I'm kind of like, we've been to like the Santa Barbara Zoo, which is about the size of my pinky, so you don't necessarily need to have anyone standing on anything to get around it. It's
That's pretty cool for like kids at Disneyland that want to see a parade, or that way you don't have to like worry about dropping your kid if you're trying to raise them up, like raise the roof with the kid. So.
Have you put your daughter on your shoulders to like walk anywhere? I mean.
Not for a while, like not for a great distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm scared as shit that she's gonna fall.
And it starts burning after like a minute, like your neck muscles and like the sweat between your like their chest and the back of your head and what was burning. Your love for your kid. Anyway, so Piggyback Rider on Twitter, he wrote that. He had watched number 2 and number 5, so that'd be what Attack of the Clones and Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
where those are like the real names of the movies. So, you know. And he said he's now totally distracted with the whole Clone Wars spinoff, which is the cartoon, right? Mm-hmm. He said, not sure they appreciate the differences as long as they get to watch. And he said, but the big question is whether to go see the remakes. I think he's referring to the like the upcoming 3D stuff, maybe,
or the DVD release, of
or the or the Blu-ray stuff, or the I don't know,
whatever.
But yes, I think is the answer to the question. Always see it as long as it's not like a Jar Jar Binks featurette. I'd say let him go.
It's a really good, it's a classic storyline.
It is
good versus evil. Really tells your kid in so many. Like in a fantasy realm about the world. It really explains that there's good and evil in people, and with choices, you can either end up on one side or the other. So,
and it is strangely enough a family movie.
It is.
I mean, it's about a family. I don't want to give away any spoilers about this movie that everyone on Earth's seen, but Darth Vader's the father of Luke and Leia, who are twin brother and sister. And so there's a big kind of family thing going through the whole series where Luke is wrestling with the idea that his father is inside of this Darth Vader costume, and whether he has to destroy his own father or join him. So it's kind of a cool story about a father and a son. Mm-hmm. If cool to you is destroying planets and all that, and killing your father. Which it is cool.
It is cool.
But yeah, we got a lot of response. I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff. I mean, people seem to say around 4 or 5. Seems to kind of be the consensus.
Justin responded. He said that he watched Return of the Jedi with his oldest when he was 3. No issues. A little snuggling during the exciting bits.
Totally.
But he handled it like a boss, and you can't ask for much more than your kid handling it like a boss.
Yeah, 3. Totally. Justin Westbrook is one of our other writers. He's actually in Afghanistan right now. So
in an undisclosed location.
Yeah. I think that whole place is undisclosed.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, we, of course, wish him the best of luck and hope he comes back and writes more soon. I think he was just getting internet, up in his...
And he was there. He's
tent or whatever.
He's been there for a few months, so...
Yeah, he's due back in, 9-ish months, I think. So, he said he's going to start posting again soon, and, man, I hope so, because we love that guy. He does really good work, so...
So get home soon. Get home safe, buddy.
Someone said Tony said his oldest son turned 8, and they're about to watch him, so... Maybe a little bit of a late bloomer there at 8 years old. I mean, these movies are on all year long on TV.
Yeah.
He said, so far I've shown him the cool parts, like the pod race in episode 1.
That's a cool
or any lightsaber fight scene. It's cool to a kid, I guess.
The pod race thing, I didn't really care for it.
As a Star Wars fan, you kind of cringe to the pod race
deal. It was just like a big filler of...
It was a big commercial for the upcoming Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah.
And all the merchandise that was going to go along with it.
That's very true.
Which was kind of didn't sit well with Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
But kids love it, and if that's how you get them into the series, then that's how you get them into the series, I guess. Yeah. He said he turns it off before any brother-sister kissing, which... I think that's when I turn the volume up the most. Or not.
All right.
So we had a lot of cool answers on that.
Yeah. So thank you very much for everyone that responded. We'll have another question this coming week for our next episode. So stay tuned. Should we get into it with the stories?
Let's get over to the tab where I actually have that stuff listed. And then...
We got 4 stories that we want to just kind of briefly talk about. One got a lot of hits.
A lot of hits.
This was a cool way to welcome a baby into the world. This was a video that came up on Vimeo of a dude and or dudette that this it's just basically a video of a time lapse of this for the whole pregnancy. It was a time lapse of this woman in front of the same static. I mean, if we're playing it right now, here,
right about,
you'll be able to see it. So this was a really cool way to just announce that you're pregnant or announce that you just had a baby to more than just your friends, but and to make it really creative for something that's something that you can do online if you're willing to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cool way to like announce it to your office mates at work and your family, and you can send them a link to that, and they don't know what's necessarily well. I guess your family already knows that your wife's pregnant. So,
hopefully.
But to announce that the baby's born, well, I guess the family knows a bit. Oh.
But
Take it from here.
I guarantee you,
I'll sit this one out.
This was not her first baby, because there's no way that she was this clever and this smart for her first pregnancy. I am telling you, when you're going through your first pregnancy, you're reading all kinds of books. You don't have time for this kind of shit where you can stand in front of a camera every day during your pregnancy and be like, oh, I'm gonna, take a picture of my belly. And
the ladies are so self-conscious.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm stereotyping here, but ladies, you're a little self-conscious when it comes to pregnancy. And why not? Some of you double in weight. Some of you don't. But your body's going through changes and you're uncomfortable and gassy and all that stuff. The last thing you want to do is stand in front of a camera and have some jackass that you call your husband take pictures of you every day.
Well, it looked like it was set up on a tripod, like in the same position every day and at the same time every day, maybe. But this was very clever. Big ups to the people that did this. And
it's that kind of video that you look at and you go, God, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah, that's why
I wish I would have had all the internet's eyes on me with something cool like that.
And this reminded me a lot of that video of that picture a day for like 6 years of that dude on YouTube. And oops, let me get this. He took a picture of himself like every day, in the same kind of position, like same framing of his face, and it was pretty.
That stuff's always cool to see.
Yeah, just the dedication that it takes and the time and effort of putting something like that together was really cool. So. And
we're kind of at the stage in history where you can do that pretty easily nowadays with the different kinds of cameras and all the technology and all that stuff. It's kind of you're able to, whereas before you kind of had to have like, you had to queue up your physical tape.
Yeah.
And hope that it was on time, and if it wasn't, you had to cut it. And now with digital, you can just roll stuff back and Mickey Mouse it to the right times and all that stuff. So it was awesome.
So that's cool. Let's see, what do we got next?
So next story up was the story I did about the 5 possibly unacceptable uses for baby wipes.
This was awesome.
And I'll be honest, if you read the story, first off, thank you. And I had written, there's
just 5 pages.
5 pages, a little long, but page 4 was the sex page. I wrote that part first because that was kind of my angle for the story, and I just knew I couldn't just leave it with sex.
And you could just tell it was so good. That was like the best part of the
That was like the inspired part. I mean, where else? What other parenting website do you get to see genitalia referred to as smelling like a salty sack of pennies? The clearance aisle in the meat section of the grocery store.
What was that?
An Italian deli.
A hippie laying on leaves, or what was that line?
Yeah, I did refer to pubic hair as the back of a hippie's head after taking a nap in a pile of leaves.
That just had me and my wife like just laughing our asses off.
So I mean, clearly that was
ruffling.
That was the big section. But there is. I hate to double back and try to make it sound like there's a moral on this, but there are kind of some uses in that article that you are able to do. You are able to wipe down your tables and counters with them, which if you have a kid, you're probably already doing because you need something wet and cleansing after your kid throws food everywhere, and that's the first thing you can find. There is kind of a little controversy about using baby wipes on your dog. Because I did look it up. I, believe it or not, did a little bit of research on this article.
Why would you do that?
Like if your dog's like coming in from outside and he's got mud on his paws, or if you just got a puppy and they're still in the phase where they're getting food all over their face, or if you got like one of those, those German Shepherds. I think I mentioned that story. Those German Shepherds that are always dusty. Like I don't know why or how, but they're always dusty. So you can just kind of give them a little wipe down. But, like I said, don't be putting your dead dog on my doorstep. If you try this and your dog dies, use the hypoallergenic ones, the organic ones. No cleanser, no dyes, no anything. Again, I don't want to wake up to a dead dog on my doorstep.
No one wants to do that.
Yeah. If you are gonna do that though, break them up into like
just be
parts first, so I can at least
be civil about
put them in the crock pot or something.
Be selfish.
Actually, one of the ones that was probably the most true besides the sex page was the in the car mobile cleanup.
Have you done this before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You should definitely keep baby wipes in your car if you're not already doing it. Keep some baby wipes in your car because I don't know why you think you're Superman in your car and you're cramped into like the smallest space imaginable, and it's late at night, you're coming home from something, and you're like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop at X and Y fast food establishment, and you want to get something and greedily eat it in the car before you get home. And then what happens is inevitably it ends up on your hands, in your lap, on your face, whatever. So, keep some wipes in your car. And then when you show up to the job interview, like I was mentioning, you're not going to smell like a taco, which is probably the worst thing for you to smell like when you're in a job interview.
It depends on what kind of taco, though.
And it depends on what kind of interview, I guess. If you're interviewing at the taco factory, they probably look at that as dedication.
Yeah,
but
you're really into your work at that point.
So anyway, if you haven't checked that article out, I, of course, suggest you give it a shot because I wrote it, so of course I want you to read it.
Just look up, uses for baby wipes in the search.
I'd say search for genitals, but we probably have a couple articles that mention that.
Search for salty sack of pennies. You'll find it.
Okay. So the next story was...
next story was the mainstream blogs may be hurting other parents. I found this article... originally on this website called The Stir, which is, have you heard of cafemom.com?
Yeah.
Is that a big website? Cause
yeah, it's pretty big.
I don't search for mom blogs.
Yeah, I unfortunately do, so.
Okay. Why? I'm just kidding.
Hard to say.
We're in the market, so
it
makes sense.
Not that market, but the other market.
No, right. So we're not in the market for mom bloggers. So this story was about. Let's see, what was it about?
It was basically about sensationalism in the motherhood sites.
Yeah, that's.
And I suppose in the parenting sites in general, but in this particular case, the motherhood sites. Mm-hmm. Just that sensationalist attitude, like the sky is always falling. Like there's got to be some kind of controversy to get mothers to read just based on something being wrong always.
Yeah.
Like we can't just all congratulate each other and.
Or high five.
Yeah, let's say.
Oh, good job of being a parent. It's like, oh, my parenting skills are better than yours. Or this was just a basic. This was an article that was trying to get a conversation going, and it really did get a conversation going because there was like 161 comments.
Naturally.
And a few tweets and whatever, but it was really a really big discussed article, because it was just fodder for this kind of discussion. It was just pitting other moms against each other on these few different theories that you may be hurting your kid by co-sleeping or extreme stern parenting, or if you're kissing your children too much, stuff like this, where these mainstream ideas may be hurting our kids.
And there's like a new, I do, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess it's a good thing. I read some of the mom blogs just to kind of see what the opinions are out there. And there's a new opinion every week about whether you should or shouldn't use a naughty chair, should or shouldn't spank, should or shouldn't focus on low-fat foods as, with toddlers. Mm-hmm. There's every week it's back and forth, and there's no way for us just to cut it and say, okay, here's where we're going to stop and just say every opinion up until now is okay.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, how people even raise kids before the internet. Why is this information so important right now, and why wasn't it important? It's like everyone before us got fucked up because we didn't have the internet, and no one could complain to each other about their ways of parenting. It was
and I think the big issue with with the internet, as always, is that everyone feels this sense of empowerment on the internet. That
behind how do you say that word?
Curtain, digital curtain.
I'm trying to say
anonymity.
Anonymity, yes.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got the sense of entitlement. Like their opinion is now, just because their kid is turning out fine, their way must be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And I suppose we probably do a little bit of that kind of ballyhoo on our website, also, but.
I think we're more objective.
We try to stay a little neutral.
Yeah.
It's more funny to stay neutral and just make fun of everyone else. That way, when someone comes back at you, they got nothing to grab onto.
Exactly.
Like when the gangster chicks fight and they put Vaseline in their hair and on their face so you can't grab them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
If you ever fight with gangster chicks.
How do you know this?
Fought with gangster chicks?
Oh, okay.
I did some time at a women's prison in Central California. So the mainstream blogs.
What? What do you mean you did time? Like you volunteered?
No.
Like you were incarcerated.
Does anyone volunteer to stay in prison? I guess if you can't do the time, don't
First
do the crime.
First of all, how did you get into an all-women's prison if you're a dude?
Maybe you don't know me, but I have kind of gentle sensibilities, maybe.
All right.
I just wrote an article about wiping up before sex. So
you did.
I clearly have like a little bit.
That's very true.
I'm towing the line.
Right. Next article.
So, we had some other stuff on our website this week, probably.
So, this was your story about what was it?
Oh yeah, the father questioned by police for taking pictures of his daughter at the mall.
Yeah.
Now, first off, I'm going to address all y'all haters out there. Probably one of the biggest comments that we got on this article on Reddit was, and not the biggest, like the font size was big, but like the most common. I had posted it to 2 subreddits. I want to say I posted it to parenting and Daddit or men's rights or something. I tried to get out there.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest comments was that I was a little sensationalist in the story, which is good to talk about right after we talked about the sensationalism of the mom blogs. But yeah, I was a little. I kind of went out on a limb to get the readers on it, but I don't think I said anything that was out of control.
Yeah.
My big issue, and I didn't explain this until the edit, I think.
Yeah, the bottom.
Was that really the issue that I saw was that the spokesperson... Actually, I'll run down the whole story with you first. There was a dude in Scotland who was at the... it was like the Braemar Mall or Bray... I don't know how to
Brayhead Shopping Center.
Brayhead Shopping Center. I'm loading it up right now. Way to spring for the fast wireless on your network.
It is fast.
I'm just kidding. I'm using Linux. What do you want me to say? I had to lash out. So he's at the Brayhead Shopping Center in Scotland. So, holla if you're from Scotland. So this dude, Chris White, was there. He's with his daughter. He went to an ice cream shop and got his daughter some ice cream. And she was sitting at the counter looking cute, as daughters eating ice cream usually are.
Right.
And cute in a normal way, not in that kind of way.
Right.
And evidently, he took a picture of her. And he was taking a picture of her in that way, and the security guard thought he was taking a picture of her in the other way.
Okay.
I'm not making all that much sense here.
No. I understand where you're going with it.
Yeah, so I guess...
And where it went.
Yeah.
But
so,
still...
what happened... Okay, so...
A security guard, not a police guy?
Security guard, yeah. The Brayhead Shopping Center security guard walked up and said he had gotten some complaints. And I think in another article I had read that one of the ice cream parlor employees was the person that had complained. We'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
So he came up to this guy, Chris White, and asked to see his phone, and Chris White said, naturally, no.
Mm-hmm.
And the security guard said, well, you can't be taking pictures of people in the mall. They did have signs posted. Sorry, I'm like... Oktoberfest is getting me here.
This was the warm beer after.
So they did have signs posted in the mall which said no photography. That should be a dead issue right there. So Chris White, if we stop the story right there, is wrong, done, that's it. So the security guard, I guess, was a little bit
Overzealous.
overzealous. I think it was what a couple different outlets said. Asked to see his phone, asked him to delete the pictures, and Chris White, of course, like any red-blooded, child of the internet is, he said...
In Scotland.
In Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Green-blooded. Said, well, I already uploaded them to Facebook, so not much you can do.
Right.
So the security guard called the police, of course, because let's get, John Q. Law involved on that one. So meanwhile, this dude's daughter is like eating ice cream. So now let's get back to the ice cream store employee.
Okay.
So you're an ice cream store employee. You just sell ice cream to a guy and his daughter. Clearly a guy and his daughter, because the guy says, "Hey, daughter, what do you want to have?" Or if you're Scottish, you say, "Hey, daughter, what do you want to have? What kind of ice cream would you like to have today?" That's probably the worst Scottish accent.
If you're from Scotland, don't write it.
I
Email.
If you're from Scotland, I apologize. Clearly the interactions were between a father and daughter at this counter.
Yeah.
No one was being forced to have ice cream.
Yeah.
So then as an ice cream store employee who sees this kind of thing day in and day out, and it's not the first father to bring his daughter to the shopping center, this employee got nervous that Chris White was taking a picture of someone else's daughter, or taking a picture of someone else, or taking a picture of them, something to trigger that no photography law. Anyway, so fast forward, the police show up, and I guess the police were a little bit shitty to him also, and one of the cops was really laying into him, and they got him on file and asked for all of his information. I mean, no one came in basically and said, "Misunderstanding, obvi, you're not taking pictures of someone else's kid."
This is worse than airport security in our country.
Yeah.
Like, this is terrible.
And my big problem with it was that the spokesperson later had said a quote that I'm going to try to find here. But they had the spokesperson had said that they have a no photography policy in the center to protect the privacy of staff and shoppers, and to have a legitimate opportunity to challenge suspicious behavior if required. Okay, that's fine. No photography so that they can say, okay, if someone's taking pictures, they're suspicious. It's a little out there, but whatever. However, it is not our intention to, and we do not, stop innocent family members from taking pictures. Now, the assumption then is if he was stopped, he is not an innocent family member. I'm no lawyer. I'll be the first to admit, and I think I just did. But if you can't treat him like an innocent family member and then stop him from taking a picture,
right,
because then you're assuming he's not an innocent family member.
Right.
So clearly their policy is not to stop innocent family members. It is to do the first part, which is protect the privacy of the staff and shoppers. So I think it was handled wrong, and I think the way it was handled is what created, the kind of my sensationalism on it that says, father questioned by police for taking pictures of his daughter at the mall.
Right.
Now, on the other level, that is exactly what happened in the story. So the father was questioned by police for taking pictures of his daughter at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm ready to let that one die.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it was kind of a small story that became bigger. There was a Facebook page to boycott the mall, so
it's just...
It was an issue. I don't know if it was, was it a fatherhood issue, maybe or maybe not?
I mean...
But a father was made to feel uncomfortable, and I think that's the big issue, is that as a father, if you're out, especially with a daughter, you feel eyes on you, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I see where they're coming from, and I see where they're wrong in this.
Yeah.
And it's cool that they're trying to protect little kids from, being
victims of
anything. Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was just little evidence to go on, and just it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like
exactly.
Didn't have a good feel.
And it hinged around that idea of the presumption of innocence, and that if he was being stopped, then he was not presumed innocent. And if he was not presumed innocent, what was he presumed?
Yeah.
And then that has the bigger implication of, okay, so if you're in a shopping center with your daughter, what do you need to do for people to presume you as innocent?
I mean...
I think that's probably what I never said in the article, and nailed right there. So I take all that back. That's what I mean.
If I go to the mall now, I'm going to be double checking what I do now if I ever go to the mall by myself.
I actually, I had a kind of tangentially similar experience. I was talking to my wife before I came over here, and she had mentioned to me that our son, who is 2 years old, was at his class. It's like a preschool thing, play class at a community center. But there's real teachers, and the parents leave their kids for an hour and a half, and that's that. But during this time, my son at one point told somebody, I don't know who, no, don't hit me. He said the words, no, don't hit me. And so the teacher, when my wife showed up to pick him up, said, hey, that's kind of one of our trigger phrases. Is everything okay at home? Of course, my wife said, well, yeah, everything's fine. That kind of makes me feel weird. Number one, because kids do hold all the power on that one. Yeah. I mean, he can go to his class and say, Daddy hits me.
Yeah.
And then CPS is gonna show up at my house and put me in cuffs.
Right. And that's not anything to joke about.
Yeah, and in a way, I'd prefer it that way than the other way.
Yeah.
I would just hope that justice was done the right way.
Right.
And
there has to be enough evidence there to even.
But as a father, it's kind of unnerving to think that
someone that doesn't even know you.
The assumption is always going to be there. And what's funny is that the no, don't hit me actually came from us when our kid hits us. That's the ironic part about this is, kids...
He learned that from you saying that to him.
Kids repeat everything you say.
Right.
And so he is a normal 2-year-old, and so he's got all of his toys with hard edges. Mm. And he will swing those things at you and hit you every which way. And so a lot of times we spend a lot of the day telling our 2-year-old, no, don't hit me. And so he picks that up and then says it when he goes other places. What the fun part is when he says, no, don't kill me. Which he said in restaurants before, and the waitress looks at me and I'm like, don't look at me, dude. He's still alive, so clearly I'm not killing him. But, as a father, it makes me feel odd because I also get the perception that when female teachers look at mothers, they don't suspect that the mother is the perpetrator, especially if the mother's the one that's picking them up from school.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a no fault of anyone thing because if they don't see the father, they don't know what the father's like. And if the father's not dropping them off at school, then they're assuming that the father
is not involved in their lives. Just
of
antisocial or something.
Yeah, and unfortunately in our case, the father's at work all day, so I can't drop him off at school. And I'd like to from time to time, but I'm so tight on vacation hours that we can't necessarily afford for me to take time off.
Right.
So I'd love to be kind of more involved in the schooling, but my job in our particular family as the husband is go to work and make money. Mm-hmm. So I kind of need to be there for that. And we had just kind of maxed out our vacation hours on our family vacation, so I didn't have time to take off and do that. But I'd love to meet his teachers, for no other reason, so they can look at me and say, oh, obviously, he's a nice guy. A little on the large side, but he's a nice guy. And clearly he's not, roughing his kid up.
Right.
Any more than any other parent is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pick him up and shake him when I'm frustrated with him, but I certainly don't hit him, and I don't plan on hitting him.
Yeah.
And shame on the people that do, because when you hit your kids, you're number one teaching them that hitting is okay, and number two, you're admitting to your kid that you don't have an intelligent answer for whatever they just did to you. So.
Yeah.
Kind of a personal and heavy topic, I think, for all fathers.
It is heavy.
So, before I get all weepy over our beers here, we should probably move on.
All right. Well, we got an upcoming event, that Chevy thing that
we mentioned.
Is that happening?
We mentioned it last week. Maybe a little early because I was excited. little premature ejac on that one, but. But yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, I'm going to be in Detroit doing the Chevy Traverse event.
That's awesome.
And I'm stoked I have the iPhone for that because the camera is like 8 megapixels or something.
Yeah,
so I was originally planning on bringing our DSLR camera and have it slung over my shoulder the whole time, and I'm kind of not interested in doing that.
You should definitely take some pictures.
I'm going to chronicle a little bit there with that camera.
Cool.
Throw some Instagram filters on it. And
Well, you can take videos with that too. So
yeah, they can do videos, and I'm going to test drive the car. That'll be pretty cool.
Oh, that's
so
fun, man.
I'm excited. And then also, I got a review of Tetris Axis for the 3DS coming up.
Okay, cool.
Nintendo just sent this one to me, unfortunately, after the release date. Hey, man, we don't have that much power, but they sent it to
Not
me.
yet.
So they sent it to me, which is a great step forwards, and I do plan on reviewing it. It's really fun so far. I can kind of see it being a pretty cool like parent-kid game, just for the fact that you can do a lot of multiplayer. It's got a party mode.
Does it have an age like limit to it?
I mean, it's rated E for everyone
Okay.
by the ESRB. Rated E for everyone. You know, just really cool game. And there's actually there's AR modes in it, which if you're not familiar with the 3DS, they have these like AR cards where you put a card down on the table and point your 3DS at it, and it uses its 3D cameras to kind of pop stuff out of the table or whatever surface that you have it on, which is really cool. It's kind of gimmicky, so you kind of play it and you're like, okay, I've done a half hour of this and I'm done.
Yeah.
But there's kind of some cool modes in that that'll thrill the crap out of your kids. I mean, the first time that they see something popping out of a table, they're gonna flip their shit, which I did when I saw it. So.
Well, I hope it wasn't too painful. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it.
That's
right?
us. I think we wanted to beat our 40 minutes last time, and I think we probably didn't. So.
Did not go under 40 minutes. So
yeah. So anyway,
take it away.
That's that.
Yeah.
I'm Zach Rosenberg, the guy with the little plaid laptop.
I'm Brian Ferguson. We'll see you next week, everybody. Stay salty.
Like a sack of pennies. Yeah! Yeah! Oh! Oh! In! Oh! Yeah! He didn't even fucking try on that one. Up and in! In! Oh, chipped it. And over! And fucking up and down! And then up and down! And then booyah! Bombs over Baghdad! Oh no, I didn't get that one. Oh, I still got fucking 18 seconds, bitch! Oh no, I don't. Oh, 3 seconds!